Anyway, this is the envelope that's coming your way. I wanted Mela to draw a little picture on each one, but we didn't have time. So this is what you'll receive when you get it. This is my starter, but I've taken different methods here. So this is just starter that's kind of poured into a big bowl of flour and dried out that way. And then these are little chips that I had a liquid starter and I just poured it out and dehydrated it. So hopefully of those two samples, we're going to get some good results here. I've been testing many different scenarios, and this kind of seemed to be the most promising. So we're just going to empty that into the glass. And you want to just, like a juice glass or something. This is a wine glass. I wouldn't recommend it because it's pretty thin-walled. And we're going to stir this at some point, and you want to kind of try to stir a little vigorously. This may break and chip, so it's the only cup I had clean right at the moment, so that's why I grabbed it. But I would say something with a little heavier structure to it, so it's not going to break on you. Okay, so these little chips and crumbs are full of different kinds of bacteria, lactobacillus, I think it's called. I don't want to get too technical, but this is what's going to give your bread just amazing flavor and aroma and texture. But we want to hydrate it. It's asleep right now. It's going to take a day or two to come back to life, so we have to be patient. This whole bread making process is all about patience. You can see my wood block here. You should see this tripod that I've got going. It's got rubber bands, it's a piece of wood, and it's crazy looking, but anyways, I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, it'll come back to me later. But this whole, I know what I was saying. This whole process is about patience, and it's not going to be about perfection. This is just the most stripped down, basic type of bread that we're gonna start out with. I think that's where you should start. And as we learn more about it together, we'll make some different kinds of breads, maybe whole wheat, maybe some focaccia, baguettes. But let's start at the beginning, and let's be patient. Put on some acoustic music and turn off the news. Okay, so we have our sourdough starter, crumbs and chip in the glass, and the scale is reading 3 grams. I just want to zero it out. So we've got 0 grams, and I have a little cup here of warm water, and you can pour it in. I'm just going to spoon it in because it's easier to control. And it's warm water, it's not cold, not hot. 16, we want 20 grams. We're at 17, 18. And if it goes over 20 grams, I won't tell anybody. This is not gonna be a very stressful project. We're just gonna keep it as simple as possible. So, it's 21, and I'm okay with that, if you are. Okay, so we're gonna let that sit for 30 minutes. Let's give it a little stir. And you can break it up too. I'm gonna take the scale, turn it off. Give it a little crunch so that it's all submerged in the water, and then give it a little stir. We're making some starter.
Starter?
Yeah. What you think?
Yeah. I want to help you, Daddy. Please, can I help you?
Of course.
Yeah.
Can you count to 30? Can you count to 30? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 30. Okay, do that like 100 times. Okay? Alright. So we'll come back in 30 minutes and we're gonna add our flour. Alright guys, it's been 30 minutes and we're back to feed this little guy. So I'm gonna stir it up and then make sure it's as dissolved as I can get it for right now. We're gonna feed it all-purpose flour. This is, you can get it in the grocery store, hopefully. Everything is pretty sold out these days, as you've noticed. Normally I would use a bread flour. We can get into different kinds of flours after this whole craziness is over with, hopefully. But I just wanted to get a flour that everybody may have on hand. You can look for this. It's all-purpose, bleached, enriched, and pre-sifted. I would not normally recommend bleached flour. You'll get a better rise and just better everything with unbleached flour. And we'll talk about that later, but for right now, we just want to make some starter, okay? All right, so let's get back to the scale. And put your glass on top and make sure it's zeroed out. So that's going to show 0 right there. And we're going to spoon in the same amount of flour as we did with the water. 18 grams and 20 grams is what we're looking for. 21. Oh, 22. I'm just gonna, I know I said I wasn't gonna be fussy, but there we go. Okay. Now, we just want to stir this up and try to get some air in there. It's going to be like a thick paste. All right. It's very thick, but it's going to kind of, as it ferments, it's going to loosen up and become a bit more liquid and develop bubbles. But for right now, that's what we're looking for. Kind of gluey looking. See, and it's good to make sure that all those little chips and crumbs are as incorporated as you can get them right now. And we're just gonna let that set overnight. I'm gonna loosely cover it. I've just got a baggie here, and you can cover that with whatever you have, maybe a little towel, or I like plastic, but it doesn't have to be sealed tightly. And if you have just an extra one laying around, or you can just get a little piece of paper, just something so you're keeping some of the elements out of it. All right, so that's step 1. And you want to just put this in a warm area. I like to kind of put it on the kitchen counter, maybe near the stove if you're using your stove, or you can put it near a radiator, 70 degrees, maybe 72 degrees if you have a nice warm window. It's still kind of chilly here, so I tend to keep it close to the radiator when I'm just starting out. So, radiator? Yeah, that's what they are. So, let's let that set overnight, and in the morning we'll take a look at it. It might look a little sluggish in the morning. That's okay, don't worry. We're gonna cross our fingers and hope this all works. I'm sure it will. All right, guys, go wash your hands.